What is up, everyone? I'm back, but sadly, my internet issues persist. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. This is a big new release day, and on a day like today, I would normally say, hey, get ready for a brand new game and a brand new playthrough, and we'd all be excited, but I have no idea what's going to happen. I'll tell you all about what's happening, what the solution is, and more on today's Level 1 podcast. So let's do it! Alright, so everyone, welcome to the show. Today is Friday, the 27th of October, 2023. And like I said, usually, today would be my big day back after my day off from streaming yesterday. I'd be coming back in full force, very excited for a brand new streaming week. In fact, today is the release of Alan Wake 2, a horror game that we've all been waiting for 13 years. A game that a lot of people thought would never be made. And by the way, a game that's being reviewed very well. Everyone who's playing it apparently is saying it is absolutely outstanding. I can't wait to play it. You know what IGN said? Not to say that I believe what IGN says. They actually said, listen to this, the best written psychological horror game since Silent Hill 2. So either it's amazing or someone's really stupid. It's one or the other. I guess we're going to see when we play it together. But, I mean, I am really excited for this, obviously, because it's going to be a special playthrough. I played Alan Wake 1 when it was brand new. It was one of my more notable playthroughs from back in the day that got me notable and got me a lot of attention on YouTube. So I'm very excited to play Alan Wake 2 with you today. I have it. Yes, I basically, how can I put it this way? I worked my ass off to figure out how to get this game for you guys without being able to connect to the internet properly with my Xbox. But I got it done. I am up and running and ready to go today to play this game with you, okay? But the problem is I'm having tons of internet issues, all right? To recap, in a nutshell, while I was streaming back on Wednesday, my modems lost connection to the internet, and when they regained it, they have not properly worked, okay? By some miracle, I am still able to live stream from my desktop. I don't know why. My desktop does not fully work with the internet. My Chrome browser seems to work fine with YouTube and allows me to broadcast and have no issues. I can even upload videos. But my Firefox browser won't even connect to YouTube. It'll load other sites, like it'll load like x.com, and it'll load other things, but it won't even properly connect to YouTube. So what the hell's up with that? Something going on there, right? I have no idea. What could it be? All right. Everything else in my house won't connect to the internet at all. And I have two internet lines, one in this office and one downstairs. I've attempted wireless connection, wired Ethernet connection. I tried flushing my DNS and stuff like that. We've tried manually using different DNS connections. For example, when we were troubleshooting this on Wednesday night, people suggested that instead of using the default DNS settings that Comcast, my internet provider, uses, that I change my DNS settings to the addresses of others, like Cloudflare is 1111 or Google is 8888. So I tried that, and basically what happened is I could get it to like partially work, but not fully. So I could get some internet to load, but it wasn't full speed. It was just all screwed up. And I've tried absolutely everything. Just for the record, yesterday I had my downstairs modem unplugged for 3 hours, thinking in a 3-hour unplug, when I plug this thing back in, it has to do a total refresh job, right? Nothing. My phone still will only connect and then say there's still no internet. Same thing, here, if I plug this laptop directly into my modem, there's no internet connection. It says it's connected, but no internet connection, no response from the server, or you were rejected by the server. That's what it says. So it's obvious there's some serious problem, all right? And quite frankly, I know it's not me. I did nothing. I changed nothing. I was sitting here streaming when all this happened. So something happened on the Comcast ISP side, right, that screwed everything over. And I don't know what. Now, yesterday I called Comcast on my day off. After a half an hour of wasted time, which I knew it would take, I finally got them to agree to send a tech out here because they said there's nothing else they could do to fix it. They don't know anything. They tried to get a tech out yesterday, but they said they could only send a tech within a 4-hour window. And I told them, you can't do that. I have stuff to do. It's my day off. I have appointments and things that I have to go to. So I can't sit around all day waiting for you to show up. So they said, well, the only thing we can do is schedule a tech to come tomorrow during a 2-hour window. And I said, let's do that. So the tech is scheduled to come this afternoon. Okay? In fact, the tech might show up as early as in 45 minutes or so. Or the tech could show up in another 3 hours. Seriously, that's how they do their windows, right? So, really, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know why this is continuing. I've tried, everything I can think of, and we did a 2.5-hour troubleshooting session the other night. That didn't fix the issues. I'm lucky for 2 big reasons. Number one, I have no idea why I'm still able to stream only on the desktop, only through the Google browser. I have no idea, but I can. As you can see, I'm online right now, right? So I don't know what's going on and why this is still working, but I'm deathly afraid that I'm going to lose my connection again, or the computer might restart, or something's going to happen, and then I lose connection and I can't stream anymore, and then I can't work, right? That's number one. The other reason I'm lucky, and this is complete 100% random luck. Earlier this year, I renewed my internet packages, meaning my 3-year agreements that I had with Comcast had expired, and they were going to charge me ginormous full price. And I said, well, I'm not paying ginormous full price for this. I need to go into new 3-year agreements. So the new 3-year agreements, one of them included, and I didn't even know this, a backup 4G wireless cellular internet device. By the way, if you're wondering what that noise is, that humming, I have no fucking clue. It sounds like something outside. It's really annoying. I'm going to have to close the window if it keeps up. It's actually driving me nuts. What is it? Hear it? Oh, I think someone's doing lawn work around here. I think that's what it is. Anyway, so this 4G internet device is insanely slow. You can't stream on it. You can't upload on it. It's just like a trickle of internet, like a drop of internet, okay? But this thing allowed me to download Alan Wake 2. I bought it, and I downloaded it. Guess how long it took to download Alan Wake 2? Alan Wake 2 is around 80 gigs. It took 13 and a half hours to download Alan Wake 2 on this. That's how slow it is. The good news, though, is I have my laptop plugged into this device. So I have chat working, I have contribution tracking, and everything working on my laptop as normal. Okay? So the good news is I can actually stream. I'm streaming right now. It's working. I can play a game and stream. It should be the correct speeds and everything. I got my setup working. So I can work. The problem is, at any moment it could go out and then I lose connection. I'm done. And then I can't work because I'm not going to be able to get it back. That's number one. Number two, I have a completely worthless modem downstairs. And that's the modem that I do all my other stuff on. Our cell phones, our Fire Stick, Amazon Fire Stick to watch TV and YouTube and stuff. That's connected to it. That's what I actually have as a backup device for the laptop as well, that if this modem or something goes down in the office, I have a backup device to at least get online and tell you guys what's going on. It doesn't work at all. So I need to have this guy come out and figure this out because, God forbid we have a blip in the power, or this connection for some reason disconnects and I can't reconnect it, then I can't work, right? I can't stream. So this sucks. The worst feeling is when you don't know what's going wrong and you feel helpless because you just have absolutely no way to help it yourself, At least if there was something I could do here to figure this out for myself, but I can't. I mean, we've tried everything. We tried messing around with every possible solution on Wednesday night. None of that worked. Comcast, like I said, when I called them yesterday, they don't know shit. The people they have on the customer service line are literally that, just customer service reps. They don't know anything technical at all. All they do is sit there and read a checklist. And they're nice. They try to be nice or whatever. But I tell them, as soon as I start talking to this person, I'm like, there's no way you can help me. I'm going to tell you the whole situation. You're not going to understand what I'm saying. So I tell them the whole situation. They don't understand what I'm saying. They, kick it off to someone else. Oh, they don't know what I'm saying. Okay, we need a tech out there. Okay, that's what I thought, So I guess we're going to see what happens today when the tech shows up. I'll be honest, the techs are great. Like, every tech I've ever had out to my house from Comcast is educated, very, very smart and troubleshooting mindset, pretty much knows the ins and outs of everything. The only thing is they don't know, and this is hilarious. You ready for this? They don't necessarily know the ins and outs of hardware. For example, at one point, I needed to change my IP address. This was many, many years ago when someone was DDoS attacking me, okay? And I told them I need a new IP address. And we sat here for an hour to figure out that Comcast modems auto search for the same the same IP. Even when you disconnect them and reconnect them to the internet, they don't get a new IP. They auto search for the same IP and reconnect to it no matter what, if it's available. So the only way to get a new IP address on a Comcast modem is, number one, have two modems. Think about this. Plug them both into the same Ethernet line at once, okay? One has your old IP, one has your new IP. When they both have the IP, get rid of the old modem and just keep the new one plugged in. That's one way. Or to unplug the modem for so long that someone else grabs your IP address by plugging in and refreshing their own modem, and then when you plug it in, you get a new one. But there's no way to know how long that could be. That could be 5 minutes, that could be 5 hours, that could be 5 fucking days. So that's the thing. Like, with Comcast, it's so hit or miss. None of the employees who work there on the phone know anything. You might as well not even call, but you have to call to get to the next level of support. When the techs come out, they're very smart. The problem is they come out and they usually don't know what they're up against. They don't even know what problems they're trying to fix, because the person who you talk to on the phone doesn't know shit. So it's like, imagine if you were a rocket scientist, right? And, someone needs your expertise, but then they tell you, I don't know what I need you for. You're just going to show up and what am I here for, right? No one can tell you, because everyone's so dumb, they don't understand rocket science, so they can't tell you what you're actually needed your help for. That's pretty much it. So I know what's going to happen. This tech will walk into my home and have no idea what they're here for. All they're going to know is, so your internet doesn't work, right? That's it. Because I explained the entire situation to that person on the phone, and I guarantee you they didn't understand a word of it, and they just said, oh, well, get a tech out there, This is pretty funny. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have some insano conspiracy theories. We have people literally saying things like, what if this is an elaborate detractor's plot? I'm serious. People are saying this. What if people who don't like you have set this up to ruin you or whatever? All right? Well, I would say a few things. Number one, if this is an elaborate detractor plot, this is probably the most elaborate plot ever. Like, this is more elaborate than them catfishing me for a year and a half and pretending to be someone else to become a moderator, and then pretend to be my friend, but then try to, hurt me or leak information or get me banned. And that happened twice. That literally happened twice in my years as a content creator. And I'd say this more elaborate than that. This is more elaborate than them completely fabricating this situation with fucking mobile games, providing years, apparently, of fake Discord chats and completely falsified information about bank statements, all the shit they've done there, right? It's more elaborate than that. It's more elaborate than when we had a fake escort, right? That didn't exist, but was, again, more catfishing, fooling people with all this fake information. It's the most elaborate thing they've ever done. But you know what? It's not impossible. I would say it's not impossible. Seriously, I wouldn't put anything past anyone, because people are absolutely insane. And you know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Is there someone who works at Comcast who has control over this kind of shit, has a bug up their ass about me, and is willing to risk their job to fuck with me? Maybe. Because some people have said, well, I don't understand, Phil. If your internet's screwed up, why about your neighbors? Well, my neighbors wouldn't be affected. Why? They would only be affected if the internet outright went down. I have completely different hardware and a completely different setup than them. I have all business class modems and different accounts. They don't have that. They just have residential internet that's called Xfinity. Mine's a completely different thing. So that's why, like, even though I'm using the same lines as them, unless it's an outright, oh, internet's completely out, they likely would have no idea that I have any problems because we're on different lines and everything, different accounts and everything. You see what I'm saying? Now, what's funny is Tyler in the chat says, really, dude, you're not that important. I know. Tyler, I think you have reached my point. I'm not important. I'm Joe Nobody. I have a little presence on the internet, right? A few hundred viewers a stream, a few thousand viewers a video, if that. Probably 1,000 people on this planet who genuinely like what I do and support it. But I'm able to make a living doing it. And a lot of people have issue with that. They don't like that I can still be successful. You know what I'm saying? They hate me for some reason, and you tell me that doesn't make sense. You're right, it doesn't make sense. I agree with you, Tyler. That's my point. None of this makes any sense. Would you have catfished people for a year and a half to pretend to be someone to become a moderator of mine? Would you have elaborately invented a bunch of falsified information about mobile gaming? Would you have pretended to be an escort, faking that you were visiting me and doing all this for like a 6-month period? Do you see what I'm saying? None of this makes sense. Absolutely none of it makes any sense at all, and it's all happened. So I wouldn't put it past someone to say they're nuts, they're complete losers, and they're wasting their life, and they're actually risking their livelihood to fuck with me. I don't think that's the case. I think that's the wildest conspiracy theory. So I really don't believe that that's the case at all. Okay? But it's a possibility, right? I guess the weirdest thing about it is that the way the internet blipped out, we were live streaming Spider-Man, and it went from green to red, and then right back to green within 60 seconds. So within a minute, everything was back up and running. And that makes me feel like that's a firmware update. You know what I mean? Because if it was a DDoS attack, which it's not because no one has my ISP or my IP, but if it was a DDoS attack by some random reason, let's say someone does have a bug up their ass about me or whatever, my whole modem would have had to cycle and restart, and that takes a while. And I would have noticed that, and that's not what happened. It just went bloop, and then bloop, came right back, and I was able to stream within 60 seconds. So it definitely feels to me like that's the case. You know what I'm saying? But what happened and what changed and what is screwing with my internet, I don't know. I really feel like it's a DNS issue, because how is it that I can half connect to the internet but not fully? How is it that only one device is working and not others? How is it that when we tried changing the DNS address to to Google or Cloudflare servers, that I was able to at least partially get on the net? Right? So that's got to be it. Now the question is, what's the solution? I don't know. I don't know what changed, so I don't know how Comcast could possibly fix it. Are they going to come in and say, we don't know shit, so just change out both modems completely and see if that fixes it? That might happen. They might be like, I don't know. Just change both modems. And that would be insane if that happened, but that might happen. You know? So I guess we're going to find out today, but the problem is, I don't know when they're going to arrive. Again, they could arrive within about 35, 40 minutes, or they could take hours. I don't know how long this is going to take to fix. And again, this is not their fault. This tech that comes in, I'm going to be so nice to this person. Because can you imagine working as a Comcast tech? You literally are walking into a hornet's nest every time you walk into a business or a home. You have no idea what's going on because no one gives you any information. This person is literally probably just told, so his internet's out, you got to fix it. That's it. So they're thinking it could be a line. It could be, it could be a simple thing. Maybe the guy's a dunce and doesn't know how to restart his modem. It's good. And then you're going to walk in and like, oh, fuck. This is going to be the most elaborate thing, right? Yes, Franco, hello. I remember you were trying to help me the other day. Thank you very much for that. Okay? Franco, my modem upstairs is not working fine. It's not. I already you missed out on some information. My upstairs, my browsers on my desktop will not work properly. My Firefox browser won't load YouTube at all. I try to do it and it says there's no internet connection, but then it'll load like x.com, it'll load other sites, but it won't load YouTube. There's weird shit going on, and it's not what you're saying, okay? And again, you got to remember, I've directly connected to my modem. I haven't used any router or anything. I've tried plugging directly in with the Ethernet cable. It didn't fix this problem, okay? So, anyway, this is going to be a wild one, and Man, I hope we get it fixed today. If not, see, here's the problem. If it's not fixed today, what's the next step? What if they can't figure out what it is? Well, they have a responsibility to fix my internet because I'm paying for it. You know, but what's the next step if the technical know-how and expertise, they don't know what's going on? I don't know. I feel like what it's going to be doing is levels of troubleshooting, right? First, they're going to try to run tests on their end. Then they're going to try to change stuff, maybe swap out hardware. I don't know. But how long could this could take hours. You know, hours and hours of just messing around, trying every possible thing to diagnose what's going on and go from there. Now, it's funny because people are like, so what did you guys do last night? So, last night, we took one of our phones and turned it into a hotspot. And we used the hotspot to connect our Fire Stick to the phone. And we actually watched some YouTube videos and stuff. But here's the problem with that. We have limited data. Even though we're on an unlimited data plan, no cell phone company gives you unlimited hotspot data. It just doesn't exist. We looked into it. We have, I believe it's like, I want to say it's like 40 gigs of hotspot data. And the thing is, originally when I went to download Alan Wake 2, I thought I'll use the hotspot. So I did, and I downloaded like 30 gigs of it. And then I looked into it, and it said, oh, you have limited hotspot data. I said, oh, fuck. So I turned it off. And that's when I started using this weird 4G backup device that's really slow. Because I was going to exceed my hotspot limit. In which case, that's a huge bill. You know, so I don't want that to happen. So so we did I think it used only like a gig. We were watching like YouTube videos last night, and I think it only used about a gig of data. So that's not bad, you know. The thing is, when you're using like hotspots and stuff, it'll completely limit the quality you can get. So likely we were watching like 480p video, you know, what are you going to do, right? So. Got an eyelash bothering me. It's my eye. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. All right. At any moment, I could get a phone call. And by the way, that might happen. So if that happens, here's what's going to do. I'm going to mute the mic and I'm going to do this. All right. So you're not going to see me. I'm going to be over here muting the mic, talking on the phone to the tech who likely is on the way. Right. Because I'm going to get a phone call at some point. The question is when? Because again, they could show up as early as in a half an hour, or they could take 2-3 hours to show up here. But the point I'm making is, there's no point in me starting Alan Wake 2. I have it, we could play it, but what's the point of starting when I know I'm about to get interrupted, right? All that's going to happen is going to give us tremendous blue balls. We're going to be sitting here and starting a game, and immediately we're like, oh my god, now I can't play, right? So there's no point. I'm just going to wait for the tech to show up before we start with gameplay, and I really am hoping for a quick fix, and then we can jump right into Alan Wake 2, and we can play it and enjoy it, because again, the reviews are stellar for this game, and everyone is, you know, really excited to see me play it. You know, I'm excited to play it. 13 years of waiting, and instead of me sitting here hyped for Alan Wake 2, I got to tell you about bullshit internet issues. It's bullshit, you know. And again, what really is killing me is, what is the cause of the problem, and what's the thing that what's going to prevent this problem from happening again? That's another issue too. It's not only a matter of, okay, what's causing the problem and let's fix it, but it's a matter of, so how do we stop this from happening again, right? I don't know. How do we stop it from happening again? I don't know how you stop an issue like this, right? Anyway. All right, so, folks, let's talk about Phil's day off. I'm going to be honest with you guys, all right? It wasn't great, all right? Why wasn't it great? For multiple reasons, all right? Reason number one, because this whole internet thing was going on. So no matter what I did yesterday, this internet thing was going to be in the back of my head. It was going to be bothering me, right? And it did. It literally was bothering me the entire time. Like, am I going to be able to get my internet back? Am I going to be able to work, right? What am I going to, you know... What are we going to do? So it was a problem all day in the back of my head. In addition, I had a ton of things that I had to do yesterday. I had multiple appointments. I think you can figure out what one of the appointments was. But I had multiple appointments that I had to do all during the course of the one day. And you know, I had to hurry around, driving all around all day. Instead of it being a more relaxing day where my wife and I had plans and we could just do what we wanted, instead it was very hectic. So, you know, we're driving half the day, moving around, and it's frustrating. It's very frustrating when you can't just relax or do what you want to do. And it was a nice day of weather, but because we had so much to do, we got home at one point after having grocery shopped. And it was already very late in the afternoon, early evening. And it was like, we've already been out so many hours, and now we still have other shit to do. And my wife was so exhausted, and she's like, I really don't want to go out again. I'm like, yeah, but we still got to do this. We still got to do this. We got to get dinner, you know. So we basically like recouped for like an hour, and then we went back out again, and we did a bunch more stuff. We did get some food. We went to a Mexican restaurant, and we each got quesadillas, but like super deluxe quesadillas, which is like scorched grilled chicken with like a ton of veggies, a little bit of cheese, and you know, everything you would want in a delicious quesadilla. But it's giant, like humongous plate size quesadilla. That's so much we each had leftovers to bring home. That's how big the damn thing was. So that was good. But you know, outside of that, yeah, it was pretty frustrating and pretty annoying day. Because then you come home and it's like, so we just want to relax. Well, we can't. Why? Because the internet doesn't work. So now what do we do? Now we got to fuck around, try to get a hotspot working and dicking around with that. And it's not fun, you know? You just want to have a day when it's my one day off a week. All I want to do is relax. Well, I got to waste an hour on the phone with Comcast in the morning. I got to be driving around all day, hitting up all these appointments because it's the only time I can do it. And then when I come home, nothing's working properly, and I got to do like a bootleg way to get everything working, and it's like, oh my God. Stress, 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 stress. It's supposed to be my day off. And this is just Stressville, right? Stress City. Right now, sitting here with you guys, I'm stressed out. I'm completely stressed out. I just want this whole fucking thing resolved so that we can move on. And we can enjoy Alan Wake 2 and all the other game releases and get fully back into our swing. Like today, I was supposed to watch the Five Nights at Freddy's movie and be able to review it. I can't even log into my React channel right now because it doesn't work in the Firefox browser, so I can't even access it or upload anything to it. So there's no Five Nights at Freddy's review right now. There's no way I could even do it until this issue's resolved. Why is that? I have no idea. And we got to figure that out. Right? I have a Halloween marathon I've been planning all fucking month. And everyone's excited for it. You want to see me dressed up in costume, doing various things. Will the internet work on Tuesday? So yeah. That was my day off. It was frustration and stress all day. And it's not good. You know? And I've had enough of the baloney. I just had enough of it. I just want to be able to go on with my life and have, you know, do normal shit like everybody else. Instead, I got to have stress constantly all around me with this nonsense. So, hopefully, the person who shows up is smart and you know, kind and understanding and will be here until we solve the issue. Really. Because I'm nervous. I'm nervous this person will show up and not be able to fix it. And what happens? Right? Well, it's my internet. I need internet to run my business. So, what happens? What's the next step? Right? Try a different ISP, I'm being told. You can't. Why? We have 3 possibilities for ISPs out here. Comcast, who I have. CenturyLink. CenturyLink Internet also is out here. They do not have the speeds that Comcast has, nor do they offer the kind of internet lines for business that Comcast has. So I couldn't get CenturyLink in my home like I have Comcast. It's not possible. It would be slower, and it wouldn't be good for what I need. And then you have cell phone / satellite internet. Right? Like pay of a cell phone company to give me my internet full time, unlimited. Could, except it's not fast. I would never be able to stream once. Right now, on my cell phone, sitting in front of me, I have a 3-bar connection. And that connection fluctuates between 3 bars to 1 bar all day long. It's never consistent. That's just how it is out here. I don't have a pure... If I lived in the city, I'd have a 5-bar connection all the time, and then I could easily get cell phone internet, and it would be fast enough to do everything I need. I can't do that. Okay? So, I'm limited. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place when it comes to ISPs, and I have to use Comcast, and there's nothing I can do outside of that. I have to deal with this. And, again, I don't know what happened. You know? The thing for me is not only is it this issue of fixing it, but preventing it from happening again. And if we can't pinpoint what the source is of the problem, then how do we prevent it? You see? What's to say this person doesn't come, we don't know what the cause is, but we fix it, they leave, and then tomorrow it turns out it happens again. The modems go down during my stream, and now the whole fucking thing restarts. Now what? I can't have a tech come out here 5 times a week, right? So there you go. Okay. Anyway. Hold on. Oh. Excuse me. That's why I turned around, because I felt that coming. All right, so here's the deal. Let's get to our usual segments. All right. What I'd like to do is, briefly tell you what I'm intending to do for the schedule this week. We've got a little bit of game news today, and we've got shout-outs to do. And then I don't know what's going to happen. Like, we have about 30 minutes left until the earliest this tech could show up. Of course, this tech will call me when they're on the way. So we'll see when they're actually going to arrive and go from there. So let's just get into the topics we need to get into. Schedule-wise, I wish I could tell you what I'm doing. Here was what the schedule was going to be. Alan Wake 2 all day long today. Tomorrow, Alan Wake 2 paired with Spider-Man. Sunday, my React show, DSP versus the Internet, paired with Mario. And then Monday, more Alan Wake 2 paired with either Spider-Man or Mario. Tuesday, the Halloween Marathon. And then Wednesday, more Alan Wake 2 paired with either Spider-Man or Mario. That was supposed to be the week. But I literally can't do anything on my React channel right now. I can't stream to it. I can't upload to it. I can't do anything with it. So that's out. Right now, I can do absolutely nothing with that channel. It may be that the React show on Sunday gets delayed and we can't do it on Sunday. That might be a case. And I'm sorry if that happens. Obviously, I can't control that. This is an issue that has to be resolved before we can fix that. Okay? I can't promise you the marathon on Tuesday. I can't promise you a damn thing until this is resolved. All right? But that's what I'm intending to do for this week. Next week will be a combination of all 3 new releases till some of them complete. Once that happens, we'll determine how much time we have to work on other things. Excuse me. We may or may not, have an issue here where, now I got distracted, so fuck it. I don't even know what to say. I got distracted trying to clear my throat, and now I can't remember what I was going to say. See, I'm so stressed out, I can't even keep my mind straight, So, we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. Now, if you want to help right now, yeah, I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to fucking pussyfoot around it. Right now, my work is completely uncertain. I lost out on an hour of Spider-Man streaming. I lost out on a nice stream of Mario. And today, this stream is uncertain, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing in the near future. This is not good, because I run a business where every time I stream, I'm supposed to be raising money to pay everything around here. If I can't make the content you want, I'm not going to get the support I need to keep my business operating. All right? So if you want to help out right now, here's what you can do. Support however you can. If you can't do anything crazy, like the content and leave comments on it. That engagement will help the channel. If you can go above and beyond doing that, and you want to do more, please support in some way. On today's live stream right now, Super Chat, memberships, gifted memberships, tips. Okay? If you're watching on demand, you can leave a super thanks on an on-demand video. You can do a tip, but just by looking at the description of any video, there's a link there to send a tip. That's how you can help. And there's nothing else I can say. It sucks because I just want to put out the content you want. That's all I want to do. I don't want to be interrupted. I don't want to have to sit here and mess around. This is stupid. But it's my life right now. I have to deal with it. So that's how you can help. And I am. I said this yesterday in the special video that I made. Here's the deal. The good news is I am no longer in the situation that I used to be in. Okay? No exaggeration. A few years ago, I was in such a bad situation that if there was a day when I couldn't stream, that's a day I'm not making money, and I might not be able to pay any bills. I'm serious. That's how bad it was just a few years ago. The good news is I'm not in that bad of a situation anymore. Okay? But I'm certainly not in a situation where I can just not work for an extended period of time, or where my income can be severely messed with for an extended period of time. That's just, it's not possible. If I have several days where I can't stream properly, I can't put out the content you want, and people aren't supporting the content because of it, I'm screwed. All right? And I don't want to go back to where I was. I don't want to be setting myself back now to that situation again. It took me a long time to climb out of that hole. I don't want to go back in the hole. All right? And again, this is no one's fault. This is not my fault, your fault. Who knows if it's Comcast's fault? No one knows. Right? Until we figure this out today, there's no way that we even can point a finger at anything. So, yeah, right now, if you want to help, this kind of support would help tremendously if you could. I'm not asking anyone to go crazy. I'm not asking anyone to go above their means. I'm just saying, you want to help out, now would be a great time to support in some way via the methods I've outlined, and I would really appreciate that if you did, because that would put me a little bit at ease, right? Rather than saying, well, I don't know what's happening, and if I can't stream and if I can't upload normally, well, now I have no business, and now I go out of business, right? So, please, if you can, support if you can. Fair enough? Okay. So, it's time for my favorite segment. Enough. Let's just start with DSP news. I'm all frustrated, right? I'm all frustrated. I'm not in the mood. Seriously, as you can tell, I'm not my usual jovial self, right? Like, normally I'd be in a good mood, jovial Phil. I'm just not jovial Phil today. I'm out of sorts. I know that. I know I'm out of sorts because of this going on, all right? So, what news do we have, all right? Here's the news. Our first story. Even though this isn't much of a story, due to the Activision Blizzard buyout merger, Microsoft is shuffling jobs around. So basically, some people are getting promoted, some people are getting like horizontal movement around the company. Some people were talking about it, but in reality, I don't know if it really affects anyone unless you work in the company. But it's interesting to see that now they're kind of shifting around and shuffling the deck a bit and making moves because of the Activision Blizzard acquisition. Will it affect anything? I don't know. I tend to see, like, even though Microsoft pretends like they do this kind of like control, oh, we're a big company. It seems like they're mostly hands off. Like, take a look at the games that come out, like Redfall. Like, you telling me that Microsoft didn't even look at that game before it was going to release to know it was shit? Like, how do you not know that? So I get the feeling like, even though they're making this acquisition, I don't really know if much will change at Activision Blizzard besides the games go on Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're just going to keep on the same way that they've been for ages. I think they need to be more hands-on. You can't have these disastrous situations like Redfall happen under your watch. Where are you buying a company if you're just going to let them go right off the cliff, right? So I would hope they would have more control over stuff, but I don't know if they're going to, all right? So that's just a very minor story. Street Fighter 6. Interesting information about Street Fighter 6 and Capcom, okay? First of all, Street Fighter 6, it's now been revealed that by the end of September, Street Fighter 6 had sold 2.47 million copies. Okay? That's pretty good. That's actually, if you're looking at pacing for Street Fighter 5, and this same exact time frame, Street Fighter 5 had only sold 1.4 million copies. Alright? So Street Fighter 6 has sold over 1 million extra copies of itself over its predecessor, Street Fighter 5, in the same exact time period. That's a great sign. However, what's happening is a lot of people are saying the honeymoon phase for Street Fighter 6 is now over. What does that mean? Well, whenever a new fighting game comes out, particularly one like Street Fighter 6 that's so highly anticipated, you get several months where people are so hyped and excited for the game that everything is kind of forgiven. But now what people are seeing is pro players and everyone, casual players alike, are now finally stepping up and saying, all right, this game is not perfect. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of balancing problems. There's a lot of dropped inputs when you're playing online. And these issues need to be addressed and fixed if you want to have a longevity-style community sticking with the game. You know, you can't just have the game have these issues at launch and just persist. Everyone's acknowledging these issues exist and they want them fixed. So even though the game sold a ton, it did slow down a ridiculous amount. Like, it had already sold, I believe they were saying it had sold 2 million, 1 million. Basically what they're saying